The connection between cellular senescence and bone health, particularly as it relates to osteoporosis, is one of the most intriguing and rapidly developing areas of aging research. For decades, the dominant explanations for osteoporosis have centered around declining sex hormones, especially estrogen, inadequate calcium intake, vitamin D deficiency, and reduced physical activity. While these factors are unquestionably important, they don't fully explain why even well-nourished, active individuals with healthy hormone levels sometimes develop age-related bone loss. A deeper, more unifying explanation is emerging. The gradual buildup of senescent cells in the bone microenvironment may play a fundamental role in driving the fragility and structural decline associated with osteoporosis. As we age, a small but progressively harmful population of cells across all tissues, including the bone marrow, enters a state of senescence. These cells have stopped dividing but refuse to die, and instead emit a cocktail of inflammatory and tissue-disrupting factors, known as the senescence-associated secretory phenotype, SESP. In bones, senescent cells appear in osteoblasts, bone-forming cells, osteocytes, mature bone cells embedded within the matrix, and bone marrow stromal cells, all of which are essential for maintaining bone's strength and renewal. Their dysfunction doesn't merely reflect age. It may actually cause age-related bone loss. One of the most striking findings in recent years is that senescent cells actively impair bone formation while simultaneously promoting bone resorption. They do this in multiple ways. First, by releasing SASP factors like interleukin-6, IL-6, TNF-alpha, and MMPs, matrix metalloproteinases, senescent cells create a pro-inflammatory environment that disrupts the balance between osteoblasts and osteoclasts, cells that break down bone. The result? Bone is resorbed faster than it is replaced, a key pathological hallmark of osteoporosis. Second, senescent osteoblasts lose their ability to form new bone matrix. Instead of producing collagen and hydroxyapatite, the structural proteins and minerals that give bone its strength, they become metabolically sluggish and pro-inflammatory. These dysfunctional cells remain alive, but they no longer contribute to bone regeneration. Their continued presence also inhibits nearby healthy osteoblasts through paracrine signaling, further compounding the deficit in bone formation. Senescent osteocytes, the most abundant cells in mature bone, also play a disruptive role. These deeply embedded cells regulate mechanical loading and orchestrate bone remodeling in response to physical stress. When they become senescent, they stop communicating properly with both osteoblasts and osteoclasts, leading to dysregulated remodeling. Moreover, their SESP secretion contributes to chronic low-grade inflammation, or inflammaging, which has systemic effects that amplify bone loss. What makes this theory especially powerful is the evidence from animal models. In mouse studies, selectively removing senescent cells using genetic tools or senolytic drugs, such as dasatinib and quercetin, has been shown to improve bone density, enhance trabecular bone microarchitecture, and increase bone strength, even in aged or ovariectomized mice, a model of postmenopausal osteoporosis. These findings suggest that senescent cells are not just markers of aging bones. They are drivers of deterioration. One study published in Nature Medicine found that treating old mice with Senolytics not only reduced bone-resorbing osteoclast activity, but also revived bone-forming activity in osteoblasts. The net effect was a gain in bone mass, essentially a reversal of age-related bone loss. These effects persisted long after treatment ended, indicating that periodic clearance of senescent cells may be sufficient to restore healthier bone turnover. This opens up a tantalizing possibility that osteoporosis could be treated not just by slowing bone loss, as current drugs like bisphosphonates do, but by rejuvenating the bone-building environment itself. Instead of maintaining what little bone remains, Senolytics might offer a chance to rebuild what has been lost safely and from within. Of course, translating this to humans remains a complex task. Clinical trials using senolytic compounds such as Physidin and the dasatinib/quercetin combination are already underway, focused on outcomes like frailty, inflammation, and physical function in older adults. Whether they also impact bone health directly remains to be proven. Moreover, the optimal timing, dose, and frequency of senolytic treatments in humans must be carefully determined to avoid harming healthy cells or triggering unintended consequences. Yet the direction is promising. Unlike current osteoporosis medications, which often need to be taken for years and come with side effects like jaw necrosis or atypical femur fractures, senolytics may only need to be administered intermittently, perhaps just a few times a year. Their goal is not to artificially manipulate bone remodeling, but to remove the dysfunctional roadblocks that are preventing natural regeneration. This approach is less about pharmacological control and more about biological liberation, clearing the way for the body's inherent capacity to maintain skeletal strength. In conclusion, the emerging science strongly supports the hypothesis that cellular senescence contributes to age-related bone loss and increased fracture risk. Senescent cells may be the missing link that ties together inflammation, hormonal decline, stem cell exhaustion, and bone microarchitecture deterioration. If this connection holds up in clinical trials, the implications are profound. We could move from merely managing osteoporosis to reversing it at the cellular level. In the future, maintaining strong bones may be less about what we add in, like calcium or hormones, and more about what we take out, namely, the zombie cells silently undermining skeletal health from within.